Sheriff tonight, David Niederhaus. Like I said, if y'all have heard these questions 3 times, this is the first time he's heard them, all right? So shake your head, open your ears, erase your, you got a whole new blank here to start off with. All right, very good. All right, our questions tonight for you are regarding management of the Sheriff's Office. The first questions are going to be about budget. The Sheriff's budget makes up the largest portion of the county budget, which only exists because the citizens of Hill County have to pay taxes. It's our money. We want to know how you will manage the taxpayers' money. And our first question about that to you is, what is the budget of the Sheriff's Office? That's a 1-minute answer.
I'll let you know when you have 15
seconds. Vicky's our timer tonight, and we have 15 seconds. She'll raise up a hand to you.
Okay. Sheriff's Department budget is $6.2 million. And that is the entire budget for the Sheriff Department. That is broke down for court security of $322,496. That takes up for court security, pays for the court officers, the security needs and everything that they need to operate up there, along with their salaries. The Sheriff Department themselves takes up $2,441,174. Pays for the salaries of all the deputies, pays their insurance, of course, pays for the vehicles that we need, any other equipment. This is still not including the jail or dispatch. Dispatch's budget is $569,585. Pays for theirs. Jail is $2,718,802. Animal control is $78,287.
Very good. All right, so it's a large budget, so we would like to know what is the largest budget you have managed, and tell us about that. The 1-minute answer.
Largest budget I managed was when I was police chief in Rio Vista, and that was only $600,000. That paid for my officers, my vehicles, our fuel, uniforms, any other needs that we may have, radars to take care of things, and anything else that may pop up.
All right. And our last question regarding budget, how do you plan to better spend the taxpayers' money with your budget if elected? And that's a 2-minute answer.
The way the budget is set up right now, it's really set up pretty good, and I will give credit where it's due. The vehicle status, we've got new vehicles, so that'll be saving a little bit right now off at the top. The fuel, that's one of those things we can't control. So the budget's just, you set a line item how you want it to go. It may not necessarily be that. You may have to shift numbers around. You may have to move other items. We will just have to be very, very strict with it and try to stay as close to what we've got set. There's just no good solid answer how to control not knowing what our future is going to be.
Okay. All right, our next questions have to do with workforce. The Sheriff's Office cannot perform its duties without good people who are also willing to be servant leaders. We want to know what you know about the people of the Sheriff's Office. The first question is, tell us how many positions there are at the Sheriff's Office and what are the duties of these positions? It's a 2-minute answer.
Patrol Division should have 5 deputies per shift, which would be 20 patrol officers on duty. They will have 3 command staff. They will have 3 CIDs, 3 investigators, 5 dispatchers, and I believe 69 jailers total. We've got to all work together to make things happen. We've got to.
All right. So of these positions in the Sheriff's Office, we often see vacancies and trying to hire people. So we would like to know, how would you plan to fill these offices and how do you plan to retain employees?
2 minutes.
Yes, a 2-minute answer.
I hope to retain a bunch of the current staff that's still there. We do have some good deputies. We just need to change a little direction, in my opinion. We need to build morale. Morale keeps officers around, deputies around. You get into the millennials. Millennials don't care about the money. They want a place they can be proud to come to work. They want a place that they can talk about things of what they have done for everybody else and sort of brag about it to themselves and to other people. So in the older days, guys stayed with the job because they didn't like it. Nowadays, we have to take and change the sheriff department back to where people enjoy coming. We don't have to worry about a hiring process at that point. To fill vacant positions right now, we need to be in touch with the police academies, talk to the newer officers, newer recruits, and go through a very strict background check on them and see what their goals are. And hopefully they'll meet the goals that we have set for the sheriff department here.
Our last set of questions have to do with the jail. There have been many problems reported with the jail, from failed inspections, past inspections, stories of inmates escaping. We all know that running a jail is a very complicated role for the position of sheriff, and the citizens of Hill County are very concerned with the operation of the jail. So our first question tonight is more of a philosophical question. We'd like to hear from you, what is the role of the jail in our county, our judicial system, and our society? 1 minute answer.
The jail was created to keep citizens safe, but we tend to forget that it's also to keep the inmates safe. So the jail needs to be operated in a manner that everyone knows their role and their place to be inside of there. Jail staff is very important. It's probably one of the most important places that somebody could work. Everybody looks at the deputy on the street. The jail staff is really the very strong point of our county.
Okay. Our next question, tell us what you think is successful and what is not successful with our jail. That's a 2-minute answer.
Right now, what we need to concentrate on the most is we need to get up to jail standards. Not being inside of the jail, I'm not sure the reasons why we are still not in compliance with the state. So that's hard for me to sit here and tell you what we need to do to fix it. But if we get the morale back up with our jail officers inside of there, any fix is an easy fix. It's just going to be time consuming. We need to concentrate, number one, on the security. We need to concentrate also on staying up with the jail standards. Once we're there, it's going to be an easy fix. Suicides have been an issue in there. I've asked the question myself to some of our other elected officials why we do not have designated suicide cells. Most jails have them. They're a glass cell where the subject's always under observation.
So of these items with the jail, tell us what improvements you would make to the jail and how you would implement these changes. 2-minute answer.
First one is we're going to have a good policy and procedures in place. You can't hold anybody responsible without a policy and procedure. Have a meeting with all the jail staff. Find out why our morale's down. We need to pick our morale back up. You want a place to come to work that you enjoy and that you're proud of. So we will take and have a meeting with everybody to figure out where our issue is. Once again, it's hard to answer not being inside right now, not talking to the folks. But what I do know is those issues do need to be addressed. We need to put suicide cells in. We also need to put a rubber room in for somebody that's combative. These are just different items that really aren't going to cost a whole lot. And like I said, I have spoken with some of our other elected officials, and they're willing to do what we got to do to keep this jail and jail standards.
If you feel like dancing, just go right ahead. Okay. Just speak loudly. All right. This is your last question regarding the jail, and last question for tonight. There is concern for the types of inmates being allowed to perform work release duties and the reports that have been made as to perks or rewards provided to inmates. What is your opinion of work release programs and rewards for inmates? That's a 2-minute answer. And it's the last question.
Work release. Work release programs. You have to have a licensed deputy watch these guys come out. Our community has a bunch of issues that we could put some of our inmates to work on. Can you hear me back there? Okay. Our community has a bunch of issues that our inmates can do. Cleaning up some of this trash. I've been sent pictures since this campaign of trash on the side of the roads. We can get out there. Inmates can pick them up. There's a few stipulations as to how they can do it and properly do it. But we can fix that. We can work on those issues. Inmates are used to work on vehicles. I'm not so up on having them touch a patrol vehicle that's looking at your lives, the lives of the officers having to come out and help you. So we need to, if these inmates want to be on work release, we need to start putting them back into our community to help us, rather than them getting time served and not paying our communities back for us housing them and feeding them and clothing them all this time. We need to put them back to work.
Okay. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, that is our last candidate for the evening, David Niederhaus for sheriff.